Hi guys, and welcome to our next installment of product reviews. Today we will be reviewing the new M8000 Groupset. It has been long overdue, but I have been testing it for quite some time, so I think I can make an informed review about the new XT Groupset. So starting off with the brake set, it's typical XT. I mean, it always delivers. It's got excellent braking performance. If you want, you could opt for the fin version, so that would be the FO1A pads or the new GO4C, what they call it. And you can go for the fin pads. That will just basically help with the heat dissipation and prevent a little bit of brake fade. But in terms of the braking performance, it's typical of the XT. It's got an excellent action. The brake looks a lot more like the XTR brake set. It's also got a new I-spec system where the shifter itself mounts inside the brake lever as opposed to mounting on with a bolt. So it's got a little shim that fits inside the brake, which I think is very neat. It makes the cockpit very neat. Very neat feature about the new XT brakes is the I-spec system that it uses. So instead of a bolt-on system, it's got a little shim that fits inside the brake. So when you fit the brake itself, you will keep that shim in there. If you want to fit the I-spec system, you take that shim out and your shift lever will fit inside there. That also makes them individually adjustable, which means that you can put the reach or the lever angle exactly where you want it, as well as the shift lever angle. So as I said, typical XT performance, but it looks sleeker, it's very nice, and it's got an excellent action. So with regards to the drivetrain, let's start out with the cranksets. Obviously they are available in 3 different platforms, 1x, 2x or even 3x. Your 1x platform is obviously a single speed narrow wide chainring by Shimano itself. It's not so much as a narrow wide chainring as much as the tooth themselves are a little bit bigger. I've ridden that group set as well. It is very nice. Personally, I think working in a bike store, I don't think I get as much riding done as I would like to. So I actually prefer the 2x system. It just means that you don't get as much fatigue. But if you are someone looking for a cheap 1x system, I think you cannot go better than the XT platform. Typically, you look at what surroundings you'll have and either run a 30 with a 42 or a 32 with a 42. That's in my opinion. I rode a 32 with a 40 and I found that I had a little bit of work to do up the hills. So personally, I would go for the 30-42 platform. So the 2x option is available with 3 different ratios. You'll find that with a 24-34, a 26-36 or a 28-38. The platform I rode was a 26-36. I found that very good. Running out of gears is always a factor nowadays, but I must say it's very seldom that it happened. I rode a 1140 initially and then moved up recently to an 1142. And I really feel that that is a very good setup now for me personally. Obviously, if you are someone that's got a little bit of power up the hills, obviously I weigh a little bit more than a general person, so I need to get up the hills easily. The 1142 for me personally is the best setup. I might consider going for the 28-38 option with an 1142, but I won't necessarily do that right now. I think it's the only reason doing that is getting a little bit more high-end speed. So once again, depending on your riding conditions, if you ride a little bit more flat routes, a little bit more undulating hills, maybe you'd go for the 28-38. But here in Cape Town, our surroundings, 26-36 with an 1142, I think personally, my opinion, is the best setup. So when we're talking about the shifters, as I mentioned, you get 3 different versions. You get a clamp-on version or an I-spec version. The ones I've got here is the clamp-on version. As you can see, it's not as aesthetically pleasing. It's kind of bulky around the shifting dial indicator area. But you'll find a lot of OEM bikes or standard bikes that come out with the clamp shifter set. I think a lot of people would like to see in which gear they are, so they stuck with that system, as well as giving you the option of an I-spec system. In terms of the shifting action itself, I think you'll find it pleasantly surprising. It feels a lot like an XTR shifter, so the action itself is very direct. It's got a very good feel to it. Multiple shifts is also available, as it has always been. So if you are running any of the new platforms, I would suggest going for the Teflon coated or the new Shimano specific cables. As I said, it does shift smoother, but it is specific to the shift levers themselves. So insist on your bike shop to switch your brake cables out to the Shimano specific ones. Okay, so talking about the derailleurs themselves, obviously the new XT M8000 rear derailleur looks a lot different than the old one. You'll also find a new clutch system which is easier to engage. It looks a lot like your XTR system. I must add that it's a lot better to shift with the new clutch system than the old one. The old one was very tight and you really felt when that clutch was engaged. With the new one, there's a very slight difference. You don't feel as if the rear derailleur is slacking. So I really do enjoy riding with this clutch system on compared to the old one. On my old gear set, I didn't engage it except if I went down a really rocky section. With regards to the front derailleurs, those are available in either a standard swing or a side swing front derailleur. The side swing front derailleur has just got a little bit more smoother action to it as opposed to the old system. The one I've got here is basically a standard high clamp top pull front derailleur. But shifting with the new system from your 26 to your 36 or whatever the case may be, it's just so smooth, it's effortless. It really feels like you've got a right hand shifter on your left hand. The action is just superb and crisp. Here's an example of a bike fitted with a 1x system. So this 1x platform, obviously you can see that the chainring, it looks very neat. It looks as if it belongs together. So this bike here fitted as standard with the 1x system. This gives you an indication of what the brake lever and clamp-on shifter would look like on a bike. As I said, it's not necessarily unneat, but it is a little bit cluttered and I don't prefer this system. The iSpec is better looking for me. Right guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video, and we look forward to doing our next review for you.